Section 4.4, area of a triangle. If you remember in the last unit, we took the area of a parallelogram, like a squished square or a squished rectangle, and we said that the formula for that, was the area equals the base times the height. And of course, the height being from the very top to there, and the base being right here. Now, if we were to take that parallelogram and split them in two, like this, you notice you would form two identical triangles there. So really, a triangle is half of a parallelogram, because if you put two of them together, like this, you will form a parallelogram. So a triangle is half a parallelogram or a rectangle. Okay? So it only makes sense that if you want to find out what a triangle is, you can use this formula, but you need to take half of it. So the formula must be half of a parallelogram. So instead of just being the base times the height, it's going to be half of the base times the height. So here's the base of a triangle, and then there is the height going from the top to the bottom. So looking at this one here, you have the area is going to equal 1/2 of the base times the height. So what is half of the base? Well, since the base is 10, we're going to take half of 10 and then times it by the height of 5. And of course, half of 10 is 5, and then we're going to times it by 5. That's still there. And the answer is 25 units, because we don't know if it's centimeters or not. So I'll just call it units squared for that triangle. For this one here, you got three different triangles, and they're all kind of shaped a little bit differently. Remember, the area is going to be half of the base times the height. Same as the parallelograms formula, except we're just going to half the base. So let's take this first one. The first one, the area is half the base times the height. So what's half of the base? Well, what's half of 6? It's going to be 3. What is the height? The height is also 3. So it's going to be 9, and we'll call it centimeters squared. For the next one, same formula. So the area equals half of the base times the height. Let's go up and see what the base is. Well, in this case, the base is 2. So I want half of 2 times the height, and the height is 3. And we know half of 2 is 1. So it's going to be 1 times 3, which is 3 centimeters squared. And the final one, again, using the same formula. So the area equals half of the base times the height. So the base, again, is 2. The bottom here is 2. So it's going to be half of 2 times. Now, the height is not this slanted piece because you got to kind of extend the base to get a perfect line from the top all the way down to the base. And if you measure it, it becomes 2.4 centimeters. So it's going to be 2.4 centimeters. So what's half of 2? 1. And then we times that by 2.4. And anytime you time 1 by something, it's going to stay the same. So the answer is 2.4 centimeters squared because we're dealing with area. So just be careful. Some triangles, the side will be the height. Some triangles, it will not be the side. And some triangles, you might have to start measuring from the top to an imaginary line that you extend on the bottom in order to find it. So let's say you're given the area of a triangle. So, and you want to find the base or the height. Well, remember when you were given the area or the circumference formula, and it was pi times d, and if you were given the circumference, you had to solve for d. It's going to be the exact same way. So we're going to take the formula. Area equals the base times the height. So I'm going to take my area, which is 9, and put it over underneath the area. I'm going to take my base and put him right down where the base should go. And I'm going to take my height, which I don't know, and just put h for height. So now here's what we have. We have 9 equals 6 times the height. How do you get rid of this 6 and put the h all by himself? Simply divide this side by 6 to get rid of the 6, but you must do the same thing with that one right there. So now the only thing we got left is 9 over 6 equals the height. And if you don't want to leave this as a improper fraction, you know that 9 over 6 is going to be 1 and 3 over 6, or we could even get it reduced further, 1 and 1/2, because 3 out of 6 is a half. So that is going to be the base. So if I were to write that in, I'd put 1.5 or 1.5 would go right on the base. Now we know what the base is.